Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would work on a declutter video, doing my blushes, my highlights, my contours and bronzers, and like some all over face palettes. Since I don't have that many, I figured I could just throw them into this video as well. So if you guys like this kind of thing, let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments below if there's something else you guys want to see me declutter, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump on into this video. Alright, so I think we're going to start with these all over face, although I think this belongs over there. I have this Covergirl Peach Punch Highlight Palette, which is just a highlighter, a blush, and a contour. I haven't really played around with it. They're pretty chalky and powdery, and so, like you can see, I don't know if hopefully you can see there that they have like a lot of powder kick up to them. And so I just never really have reached for them. I mean, the highlighter is something I would sort of go to. That blush is something I wouldn't. And the bronzer is alright. I guess you could probably get away with using that as a blush too. But like I said, I just never reached for this. So I think I'm going to pass this along to someone who will hopefully get more use out of it. And then next I have 3 e.l.f. all over face. So we have like an illuminating palette, we have a contour palette, and then we have a total face palette. So I think there's a video coming up after this of a full face of e.l.f., so hold out for that. I did use this in that video, but like I said in that video, I never really reached for these. This is something I definitely don't reach for at all. I mean, you could probably use this to like really luminize your foundation or like your powder products, but it's just something I don't reach for. So I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this and give it to someone who might use it. I don't find myself really using them like at all. So it's just not something I typically go for. For the total face palette and the contour palette, I really do like these. They're nice and pigmented. These two are really good for me to contour with. I don't really touch these two up here, but I do like these as far as drugstore. So I'm going to hold on to that one. And this total face has a really nice bronzer and 2 really pretty blushes. The only thing I hate about this is the packaging. But I really like this bronzer here, and these 2 blushes are blushes that I really go for. I don't really touch this, which I think is supposed to be a highlighter, but it's just not like my typical color, and I think it'd actually be too dark for me. But I could use that to probably top my bronzer. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to this one as well. I'm going to do my blushes next, since I don't really have that many, and blush really isn't all that exciting. I have this Broadway Colors Powder Cheek palette kit, which I had bought down at the dollar store. I was going to do a full face of the dollar store, but I never got around to doing it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know, and I can definitely pick up some more stuff. These aren't bad at all. This one's a nice highlighter here. I just don't know why I don't reach for them. I mean, they are pretty powdery and have a decent amount of kick up in them, but they're by no means not bad. I just, for some reason, don't find myself reaching for this. So I think I'm going to donate it to someone who would appreciate it more than me. And then next up, we have this Note blush. I got in a BoxyCharm, and it's a really nice, pretty, like, peachy tone to it. I'm trying not, my lighting is like distorting the colors, but it's a really nice like peachy color, and if you like these sort of tones to your blushes, I think you'd really like this. It applies really nicely. I just don't really reach for it. It's not really something I go for, and it's actually kind of dark for me. I mean, you can use a light hand, but I just tend to over blush anyway, so I think I'm going to donate this to someone who will get more use out of it than I do. And then next up, I have this Makeup Forever little single blush. I've had this for a while now. This is actually my first like Sephora like blush purchase, like high end. I used to never really wear blush, but I saw this one and I really liked it. It's more on the pinkier side for blush. So if you don't really like these pinky blushes, you won't really like this one, but I do. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep a hold of this one. The next up, I have this Cream Shop, whichever you want to call it. It's a really nice, like, everyday, like, brownie undertone, like, nude blush. I like using this with just about any eye look I do. And it's a nice big size pan. You can find it at CVS. So I'm going to hold on to this one. I use this one a whole bunch, and I've taken it traveling with me since I've purchased it. And then we have the Burt's Bees in Toasted Cinnamon, which if you watch Kathleen Lights, you know this is like one of her favorite drugstore blushes, and that's actually why I picked it up. Unfortunately, it's just way too dark for me to use as a blush. I could probably actually get away with using it as a bronzer, but I just don't reach for it because it's actually too dark for me. So I think I'm going to pass this along to someone who can use it more than I can. Then we have this Tarte, like, Blush Bazaar is what it's called. I got this, like, last holiday, I believe. And I do use it. I use mainly like these here and some of these over here. I don't really go for these highlighters. I just think that, you know, this one might be, I don't know if you can see it, stupid light. But one is just too dark for me. Let's see if I can like dim this a little bit. Ouch. This one is too dark for me. And this one is more on the pinkier side, which I don't necessarily reach for all the time, so I just don't really use them. But like I said, I use majority of these blushes. I just think I don't reach for it as much as I want to because of the packaging. So I'm thinking about depotting these and put them in a Z palette. If that's something you guys like, let me know. If you like depotting videos, I know I do, and I can definitely make this a depotting video. And then next up, we have this little Tarte in Party, which I think I got for like a birthday gift set thing at Sephora. And it's a really pretty cool, like cool tone pink, and I really do enjoy this shade of pink as well. Not every pink blush I like, but this one I do, so I'm gonna hold on to that one. I mean, the like design in the blush is starting to fade. That's how often I use this. And then lastly, we have this Laura Geller Baked Blush. I used to use this all the time when we got it in the BoxyCharm. Absolutely loved it. I still love it now, and it's a really pretty like sheen blush. So if you like those glowy blushes, you'll really like this one. I don't know why I don't reach for it anymore, but I need to get back into using it more because I do enjoy this blush. Alright, so on to contour and bronzer. I have this Contour Pro Fusion, which if you've seen my like drugstore or like makeup haul, I'll try to link it in the video or in the description box. But I've used that a couple times since that video, and I really do like it. I think these are really good for me to contour with. I think they're nice and cool toned for contouring. I don't really touch these as much, but they're used to set under your eye for your concealer. I think this one would probably be the only one I could get away with using. This one's too like peachy, and this one's too dark. And these highlighters are really nice in here as well. And I know there was like a different contour book that I think would work for deeper skins. I found this at Marshall, but I think you can also find, or did I find this at Marshall's? Yeah, but I think you can find Pro Fusion at Target as well, and it comes with a mirror and 3 brushes. So this is definitely worth checking into. I mean, it's reasonably affordable, but for everything you get in here, I think it's priced really nicely. So I'm going to hold on to this one. And then next I have this Kat Von D Shade and Light. While I don't necessarily like this palette. I don't think it's bad by any means. It's nice and pigmented and it blends just fine. I find that even this lightest shade here is still too dark, so I have to go in with a very, very light hand. And so I just find myself not wanting to use it as much, which sucks because it's not the cheapest. And these are really nice for setting under your eyes as well. So it's a nice versatile palette. It's just something I don't reach for. I am going to keep it to use it in another upcoming video, I believe. So I'm going to hold on to it until I figure out if I'm going to include it in that video or not. And if I don't, then I'm definitely going to give this to a friend or family who will get more use out of it than me. Next we have this Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. Packaging's filthy. I absolutely love this bronzer. I think that it's really nice and pigmented. You can definitely build it up. The color is nice. The shade's nice. It was limited edition, but they brought it back several times. So if it's still available, definitely pick it up. I love this. And it smells like coconuts too. I take this traveling everywhere, and it's a really nice sized pan. So I think it's definitely worth the money for it, because it'll last you a decent while. And then next I have this Sculpt and Glow. It's from Model Zone. I actually heard Tarte rave about this and it being like a dupe for the Chanel cream bronzer. I really do like this stuff. I've used it a lot. The only thing I don't like is that it's really easy to get the inside of this dirty. So that's a problem. It's like a cream to powder, and it's a really, really gorgeous bronzer color. So I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit longer, but I think that once I start noticing it getting pretty nasty in there, I'm going to toss it, but I'm going to hold on to it for now. And then next I have this Beauty Concepts Super Glow bronzer, and it's one of those gradients where it goes from light to dark. I have absolutely no idea where I found this, but if I swirled it together, it's definitely too dark for me. So I tend to stay on the upper end here. So if you can see the comparison there, I just don't really reach for it that often. I mean, it's nice, it's fine, it's really powdery, so you want to be careful using it. Don't want to go in with a heavy hand. I just don't reach for it, so I think I'm going to pass this along to someone who might get some more use out of it. And next I have this little mini Hourglass. This was $18, and I didn't realize how small it was until I got it in the mail, and I was like, seriously? But this one here is that, and it has a really pretty sheen to it, so if you like glowy bronzers, I think you'll really enjoy this one. I find that sometimes I can find that it can pull like orangey on me, so I don't know if that has something to do with like if it's different on different foundations or what, but that is something to take in note, that it could pull orange on you. But I am going to hold on to it because, like I said, I paid $18 for this little thing, and so I'm going to use it up no matter what. Up next I have this Wet n Wild Boozy Brunch. I think it's more of a topper to your bronzer because it's like very, very shimmery. I don't know if you'll be able to see that right here, but I mean, it's a really pretty undertone. It's a really pretty shade. I just don't use this on its own. I use it on top of a bronzer, but even then I don't find myself really reaching for it that much. It's super pretty, so I think I'm going to hold on to it and try to remember to use it some more, but if I find myself not really using it, I'll declutter it. But it's such a pretty like shimmer, and it would put a really nice glow to your skin. And then next I have this Tarte Park Avenue Princess, bronzer. A friend of mine actually gave this to me out of her Ipsy, And that's it right there. It's a really pretty nice undertone for a bronzer for someone light like me. I find I have to go in with a very light hand because it can be pretty pigmented. It does have a nice sheen to it. So I really like this bronzer as far as the color. I just, for some reason, never reach for it. So I need to start reaching for it more because I really like the color and the sheen it can give to your skin. I want to hold on to that one. And then next I have this Hula Light by Benefit. I've had this for a while now, and I've held on to it for some strange reason. I just think it's kind of too light for it to be a bronzer, and of course I can't really contour with it. I did try the other one in the more of the purple box, but that one was just way too dark for me. So I think I'm going to put this in another video. I mean, it's really pretty when you build it up. I don't know. I might declutter it. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't reach for this when I should. So that's kind of where I stand on that one. And then for this little NARS sample, I really like the undertone of this. I think I got it as a free sample for a purchase I made. I think it's really pretty, and it's nice and light, and it has a nice little sheen to it. I think that I don't know why I'm still holding on to it, but I think if I wanted to purchase it, I would have to really work on using these up first, or getting rid of some of these before I purchase another one, because I'm holding on to a lot. But again, I'm using some of these in hopefully an upcoming video, and if I don't, then I will declutter 2 of these. So yeah. Alright, so lastly, my highlighters. So first up, I have this Self X Revolution highlighting palette. Took me forever to find this palette, and once I got it, I've loved it ever since. I think it's a really gorgeous highlighting palette. It does have a couple deeper shades in here that I can't get away with, and then 2 fun pops of color. So if you like these kind of shades here, I think it would be worth picking up. I know Revolution is a very affordable drugstore that you can find at Ulta and online. And I love Soph. I love watching her here on YouTube. She's really good at doing her makeup. She's really funny. And so yeah, I'm going to hold on to this one. And then next up, I have another Revolution highlighting palette. I heard Tarte rave about this eyeshadow, this highlighter palette, so I went and picked it up. And I don't reach for it as much as I want to. I don't know why, because it's a really pretty, highlighting palette. The only thing is these 2 are a little bit too dark for me. And then this one's more on the pinkier side, obviously, and so I don't really necessarily reach for pink all the time. So, I mean, this one would be the one I would use the most, but by no means are these bad. I just need to reach for them more, so I'm going to hold on to these. And next up, I have this Anastasia Glow Kit. I've been trying to reach for this more. I've taken this traveling with me for Thanksgiving. I find that this one is a little bit too dark for me. This one's slightly on the dark side for me. I really like the shifts to these. This one has more of a goldier undertone than it is on the icy side. I mean, I really do like this. This one has a really pretty pink shift to it. I do reach for these quite a bit. I mean, they're not the cheapest highlighter palette, that's for sure, but I really did save up some money to purchase this, so I'm going to hold on to this. Then we have this Master Chrome, which again I heard Tati rave about this. This one is in molten gold, which is this one right here. Unfortunately, this one is way too dark for me to use, but look how blinding that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's one of the reasons why I don't reach for it as often. So I think I'm going to pass this to someone who can use it more than I can. And then I have another one of the Master Chromes. This one is in Molten Rose Gold. Again, a very pretty highlight, very blinding. And it's this one right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know why I don't reach for this one more. I think it will work on my skin tone, or my skin color. So I think I'm going to hold on to this one. And then I have this Becca highlighter. I think this is a Champagne Pop, which looks like this. It's like completely shattered. But I've had this for like over a year now, so obviously it's pretty old. So, I mean, I could get rid of it, but I don't. I don't want to. It just has some sentimental value. This was my first high-end highlighter purchase. Oh, hello. Ew, sorry. But I think I'm going to hold on to this and maybe try to press it back into the pan. I mean, clearly, I mean, you can see pan right there. So I really do love this. And for some reason, it looks kind of pink on camera, but it's not. It's like a champagne gold color, obviously. Duh. But, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit too dark for me, but I don't care because I love it. So I'm going to hold on to this and hopefully I can like press it back in there. And then next we have the Tarte Stunner. Actually, this was my very first highlighter purchase, and then the Becca was my second. And I mean, I've made a pretty good dent in it. And it has a pinky undertone to it, and it's super blinding, obviously. Bam. But I'm going to hold on to this one as well. Just, you know, sentimental value or reason or feeling, whatever you want to call it. I'm keeping it. Alright, so next up I have this Color Pop, oh my goodness, Wet n Wild Loose Highlighter. And I don't really like this one. I didn't get to try their other loose highlighters. It has like a pinky shift to it. Oops. But it's like really, really glittery, and it's not super smooth. Like it feels, I mean, it's not like chunky. But I don't know. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's like super glittery. And so many people were raving about this highlighter, and that's why I picked it up. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not the best. But it gives you a nice, look at me, I'm trying to like talk myself into keeping it. I'll put that in a maybe pile. We'll see. I'll put that in a maybe pile. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Then we have this Laura Lee Los Angeles in Sugar Sugar. The video that I use this in should be up before this video. But I used it in that one, and this was the only one I kept out of that video because it's the only thing that would work on my skin tone. But get some out. But it's a really pretty like pinky gold highlighter, and so I'm going to definitely keep this one because I really do like the color, and I like how it has a really nice packaging where you can like slide it. It's really nice and finely milled, and it's really pretty. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. And then next we have this Tarte Pro Glow. It's a liquid luminizer, and I just never reach for this. I just don't reach for a lot of cream products like this, like cream bronzers or, you know, cream highlights or cream blushes. I don't even think you'll be able to see that on camera. It's over here. It's more of like your gold, like a goldy, light gold undertone to it. I mean, it gives it a nice like wet look to the skin. I just don't see the point of putting this on and then putting powder over it, and like I don't know, I I just never reached for it, so I'm just going to give it to somebody who might want to use it. And then next we have this Covergloss, Cover FX glitter drops, and this was in the recent BoxyCharm. I did a video on that, and I'll try to link it down below as well. But if you saw that video, you know my feelings on this. I don't like it. Too glittery. When you wash it off at night, you just got glitter all over your face, and then you have glitter everywhere for the next, you know, forever. So I don't like these, and it's sad because I've really wanted to try their droppers. I know they make like custom enhancer drops and stuff like that, and I've really wanted to try them for so long. I mean, they're really expensive, and sadly we got the glitter ones, which is something I know I'm just never going to reach for. So unfortunately I'm going to have to pass this along because I just don't want it to sit in my collection and go to waste, even though it's a really beautiful bottle. But yeah. Then next we have this ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Flexitarian. I've hit pan on this and absolutely love it. I think it's a gorgeous highlighter. It's right there. I use this all the time, obviously. If you've not tried these, they're pretty inexpensive, and you can find them at Ulta in store, or at least the one near me you can. And I think you should definitely go try these out. I think they're like $8. And it'll last you a good while. It's like one of those cream to powder highlighters. So definitely check those out. And then we have this e.l.f. Shimmer highlighting powder. Did a e.l.f. One brand video, and spoiler alert, this is like bam in your face blinding, and it's gorgeous, and I'm going to keep it. And then next up we have this Jeffree Star highlighter in Uranus. I don't know why I picked this up. I mean, it's my first purchase from Jeffree Star. And I don't know why. I mean, it's not bad at all. I mean, super blinding. I'm just saying, I don't know why I picked it up, because it is absolutely way too dark for me. And so I mean, it sucks because I really do like the formula. They're really nice and blinding. They're smooth. They're not patchy. They last really well. And it's such a big pan. And it's, you know, definitely worth the money you pay for. It's just way too dark for my skin. So I'm going to have to pass this along to someone who will be able to wear it. I think I'm going to keep this and play around with it a little bit more, and if I just don't like it, I'll pass this along too. But I've only used it a couple of times, so I need to give it another fair go around. So we'll just hold on to that. So I think we did pretty okay. There's the stuff I'm going to be passing along. Like I said, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know by giving this a big thumbs up. And until next time, see ya.